All right, so we are live now. I am Holly from Hunter Ryan, and as you know, Terry, my fellow Reseller Inc. talker. We are so excited because this gentleman in the middle here is with us tonight. This is Shannon Jean, who is the author of Poshmark Unlocked.
Woo-hoo.
And this is unlock the strategies and techniques to create a six-figure income on Poshmark. And a new book, eBay Unlocked, also how to unlock strategies and techniques to unlock a six-figure income on eBay. And we actually have 5 of these and 1 of these to give away. Throughout the course, we're doing it's a 3-week course, but we're going to actually do it in 4 weeks that they give us, just because some of it's a lot. So please, Shannon, give us a little introduction other than what I spewed.
Sure. Holly, thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Love working with other resellers. You know, I started my business on Poshmark as an experiment to see if I could just start a company on my phone and not have to use all the other resources that I've done in business over the years. It took me really about a year or so for it to start taking off. But once it got going, once I found some great suppliers and learned what market I wanted to be in, what niche, which is handbags, I decided to, I've been documenting what was working for me and what was not. And talking about it. I also host the Small Business Show podcast each week at businessshow.co. And I've been talking about what worked, what didn't. And I decided, I should really put this down. I started doing a bunch of blog posts, and eventually I just had enough content that I thought, well, I want to learn how to publish a book and do it on my own. And it's done really great. That book is still selling, sells every day. And I've made a great community out of it. We have an unlocked group on Facebook that I'm always a member of.
Love that group.
Yeah, it's a good group of people, all resellers, trying to build businesses. And same with the eBay Unlocked book. I've been selling on eBay in one form or another for 20 years. And it's, the platforms are just tremendous ways to test what works and what doesn't work. And especially if you're just, 1 or 2 people, or you're trying to build your business on the side, there's just so many different ways that you can try things out. And the book's really kind of, I go over that, really just talking about my experience. I'm coming up on $1 million in sales on Poshmark now.
Way to go.
And
Congratulations.
Yeah, and I really love it. And the Poshmark people are fantastic. And I love talking about this stuff, so I'm happy to help any way I can.
Awesome. And you also seem to get a lot of kind of exclusive access to the Poshmark higher ups, as it were.
I use just techniques I've learned over the years. I connect with everybody I can at Poshmark on LinkedIn. I comment, I talk, I ask them questions all the time. I offer tips and the things the way I think things should be, and problems that they have, and I make suggestions. And over time, you just throw enough stuff at the wall, and you start to get a few responses. And I got to go, went to Poshmark, went to their headquarters out here in the Bay Area, met Manish, the CEO, and some other, really a great group of people that they're really, they want to help a lot of people. They're growing really fast. Sometimes, it's hard to get back to everybody and the customer service stuff, but I highly recommend, if whatever platform you sell on or any business you're in, get on LinkedIn, build your LinkedIn account up. We just did an episode on the Small Business Show about how to build your LinkedIn presence. It's really an often ignored social platform for resellers. Don't think about it. But if you want to sell, for example, Louis Vuitton, you need to be on LinkedIn, connecting to anybody who's involved in Louis Vuitton, commenting on things. We've had people in our group that I've highlighted with examples of connecting with different parts of companies that you want to be involved in. And I just did that with Poshmark, and I do it with eBay as well. and it does kind of give you early access, if you will, and they start asking your opinion and questions. And yeah, they're really great people. And like I said, I really enjoy talking about it a lot. I write about it a lot. Whether they want to hear from me or not, I'm going to talk about it because
Yeah.
I, just like all of us, the frustrations that we face every day with the platform, ways we think it could be better, suggestions, but I don't just put them out there. I just send them to them. I post them on LinkedIn. I tag their names, and I just keep talking. I just never shut up, and it works really well for me.
Well, you bringing up LinkedIn is a big part of the first 8 steps of this week's lesson on it's called digital skills, social media. And this first 8 parts was about identifying different social media platforms and how you want to work within those. Your social media plan for a site like LinkedIn needs to be different than your tone and what you use on Instagram or TikTok. Sure. And those things are also really important to keep in mind, that if you're connecting with a business on LinkedIn, you need to be at your professional level.
Correct.
Your tone, the way that you speak all needs to be on that professional, this is a business tone. Whereas your social media plan for like TikTok can be doing silly videos about a day in the life of a reseller or things that happen. And those might be more kitschy and more playful than the way that you would act on LinkedIn.
Sure.
And then something that kind of goes with why your book is so great, especially for Poshmark Unlocked. What's so great that goes with our lessons right now on social media is the fact that Poshmark was actually being designed as a social media platform for selling. So Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So when I started looking around, I had just sold a business that we had, and I had some time on my hands, and I was having people that come on my podcast that were really involved in social commerce, and I had not done a lot with that. I didn't even really know what the concept was, and so looking at Poshmark, that's their whole engine, is that social commerce, and trying to marry the best of both platforms, and to build a community around reselling and buying and selling and supporting resellers. And that concept it was really intriguing to me because I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know much about sharing and much about, I didn't know any of it. And so over time, learned all about, how to present yourself. You're right. It's different on Poshmark than I do on eBay. It's, your customer base is different than, like, I sell certain products on Tradesy that's very different than on eBay or Poshmark. But the social commerce part of it it's that constant engagement. And there's positive engagement and negative engagement. And I talk about a lot of that in the book. And what you want to really focus on, or what worked for me, is limiting the negative engagement and just maximizing all the things that Poshmark believes is positive engagement, like responding to questions quickly, sharing your items in your closet, building your followers, sharing other users' products in your feed, going to finding new sellers and new Poshmark users and engaging with them. Poshmark is measuring all that engagement in the background, just like all these other social media platforms are. And as you become more involved and they see more of that positive engagement, what they do is they lift your rankings in search. And, over 70% of items sold on Poshmark start at search. The eBay, I think, is even more. So if you can give that positive engagement, minimizing negative, negative engagement is things like getting into arguments, in drama and getting involved in that, in the comments, canceling orders, never sharing things in your closet. There's a whole laundry list of things that you kind of stay away from. But getting ranked higher in search is the number one priority, in my opinion, on all these platforms that you want to be on.
Yeah, that's the only thing that you can survive. And another thing though too, when we're talking about those algorithms that put you wherever you go, another thing to think about is there are more and more people now that are searching Google and letting it filter through, your Poshmark, like every one of your platforms. So in that area is where you need to lose the, I call them warm and fuzzies for adjectives, and start making sure that you're banging out actual SEO terms.
Yeah.
And that's really big, because you want to do it on if you like to do like little reels of things that you have coming up, stuff like that, make sure hashtag it, add it, whatever, get those words out there that are actually hard, firm descriptors that somebody would use Google to search. Or
even your photographs are really
definitely
important now, with Poshmark and eBay and these platforms pushing results out to Google and Google search and Google shopping. If your photos aren't on a white background, you're just not going to get ranked as high, because that's the way, for better or worse.
You look professional.
Yeah. And I see a lot of effort put into people making beautiful photographs with, image things in the background and all kinds of stuff. And they look great, but Google makes the market, and we have to conform to what they're saying. Hey, we want white backgrounds. This is what all department stores do. This is what brands do. So, we need to conform to that. And, you can definitely see an impact when you follow those guides. If you're selling certain brands, I always suggest, spending time on Google Trends. Google Trends can guide you in the wording that you use in your listing, the keywords that are popular at that time. It can have a dramatic impact on again, your ranking in search, which is where we all want to be.
Yeah. Okay. So several of the sellers are actually becoming influencers themselves, but little old ladies like me are not really out there making cute girl walking down the street and, oh, I just happen to look this cute today. What are some things that you have found in your business that help you either be an influencer without having to be a cute 20-something girl, or being able to engage 20-something?
Yeah. For me, obviously, I don't fit that demographic either. And, time is my most precious resource. So I don't have a lot of time to create that kind of persona. But what I think is really important, equally important, perhaps even on a longer run, is your credibility, and focusing on, whatever you're going to do to become an expert in it, and to then share your knowledge, to support other resellers. And you'll see things just lifting and your sales improving. If you're selling on Poshmark, your About Me, section, it should be really, nailed, dynamite pictures. I think it should be a certain way, and I go into that in the book. It adds to your credibility. People want to learn about you. They want to connect with you on social commerce in a different way than I present myself, like on LinkedIn and, even on Facebook. And, for me, credibility, and then it's a little bit different, but product sourcing is the number one way I spend my time. Those two things, building the platform. So I don't spend a lot of time trying to promote in that manner on social media. I rely on my followers that are building up over time. We've got, between our different closets, about 500,000 followers now. And also having great products. When they come, I want them to see, and I want them to go, oh, wow, this is a little different. I'm going to connect. I want to follow this person. and I want to see what new things they have coming up, and that kind of thing. And then being very social on Poshmark, having my phone with me all the time and answering questions really quickly and responding to offers very quickly, because when you're answering those questions in a certain manner, that's there forever. When that listing sells, unless you delete the listing, your comments and everything are going to be there. So people are judging you all the time by your photos, the words you use, and how you respond. I would suggest you go, if you go to my closet, just go to Poshmark, and the name of my closet is Rebounded. You can just see I'm trying to be upbeat all the time. Everything's an exclamation point, trying to answer things quickly. Even when there's maybe a little negative back and forth, you're trying to, spin it and get that positive, because you want to get those people on your side. And then the people that are reading it, you want them to look at that as well. So, for those of us that don't have that type of presence on social media in different platforms, focusing on credibility, building and being different. What is your niche? Mine happens to be handbags, but it's also sharing my journey of how this all worked and talking about how, my book can help you and do different, things with it, and connecting with people like you, and adding value. I try to always add value. If you can add value and expect nothing in return, I think you can really be, richly rewarded.
Yeah, that's great. And definitely the Google Trends is one that I hadn't thought about. And now I'm old, and the follow-up question I just had fell out of my head. Terry, do you have any questions you want to hit our man with?
Yeah, I knew you were going to do that.
No, I had a really good question, and then I just literally
it'll come back to you.
I was gaining more.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, so Shannon, I actually live in Canada. So I'm on Poshmark.ca. And I really wish the two of them would work together, because I would really like to buy some things out of the States.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming. Good to know. Good to know. Yeah. So, I know there are differences. And if they do open up the Poshmark border, what do you foresee any similarities? Because right now there are differences.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I think that opening that up will be such a dramatic game changer for all of us, for you folks in Canada, for here. It does come with its own set of difficulties, and it's a good thing that they're not doing it yet, because I think it would just explode things. And it took eBay years to allow or come up with a system. And the eBay, if you sell on eBay and you're part of their global shipping program, which is just a massive game changer, but it took them a decade before they figured out how to do it. And where that is, if somebody in Europe or Germany buys a handbag from me, I ship it to Kentucky, where it's consolidated with thousands of other orders going to Germany, and then eBay handles everything. And the customer, it pays any fees, customs duties, taxes. I don't have to get involved in that. If I had to do that, I just wouldn't do it. It's the headaches are heavy for a small business person like myself. I don't think it's worth it. But I believe Poshmark is going to come out with a service like that, where similar to the authentication service that they offer, where you ship the product to them for things $500 or more, when you sell something internationally, and it could be that Canada is the first one they open up as a trial run and ship things.
There's only US, Canada, and Australia right now. So.
Right. Well, India's right behind it. They just announced.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
they just announced that.
Yeah.
That's actually a question I would have. I don't know if you've talked to them about it or not, but I actually was talking to someone in India trying to fix my phone, and I was telling her about Poshmark. I'm like, oh yeah, they're coming to India. You want to get right on it. I gave her my access code, which is basically my closet. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if we give our US code if that'll work for them. Do they get the 10 off of whatever country they're
I
in?
don't think it will currently. I lost my video.
No, Shannon?
Ours is 15%.
Okay.
I see.
Okay. Well, you have to remember we pay $13.49 plus HST shipping. That's our highest shipping.
I see.
Or our regular shipping, where yours is $5 or $7.
No, it's $7.95 or something.
$7.95. Yeah. So then our next one tier down is $9.99, right?
Yeah.
And then $6.99 and then free. So so there are differences like that.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be difficult in that normalizing of this kind of thing is the system that will have to be in place to allow us, to be selling internationally. But it's also a great reason to sell on eBay. If you're selling on Poshmark and having some success, I highly recommend, cross marketplace listing is critically important.
It was so funny. Do you remember what PayPal was called before it was called PayPal?
What was that? It was
X.com. And I was like, customer number 3.
Wow.
So and eBay, I sold on eBay when it first came out. And I sold for probably 5 or 6 years. And I was like, okay, enough is enough, because I'm in Canada. People really don't want to buy from me because of the price that Canada Post charges for shipping. Well, now we have all these cross-border shippers and everything. Yeah. So we can lower our shipping fees and stuff.
Yeah. So, it's definitely worth it. And it also introduces you to just a different demographic, so some bags that just languish on Poshmark, as soon as I put them up either on eBay, certain brands, or I sell a lot on Tradesy as well, but Tradesy, it's very specific. I don't sell kind of lower end to mid-range bags very much on Tradesy at all, but expensive bags, $2,500, $3,000 handbags, that is my go-to place. And they sell, it's just a different customer base. Now on Tradesy and eBay, you do really have to do returns. You have to, but I don't think that really goes a long way to add to your credibility. And my returns are so low, and it's really worth doing, I think. And you're just missing out on broadening your customer base, dramatically, especially if you have a product source.
From all those years ago, I still have a 100%.
That's great.
Okay.
I've always been in customer service, so
it's big deal. Awesome.
So. I was going to ask too on the as Poshmark expands their actual sociability, is the adding of the stories and the reels. I haven't really seen that being used a lot, and then also being able to put videos in your listings. Are those things that you're seeing a positive impact, or have you even looked at trying to see what that's doing?
I would agree with you that they didn't get a big uptake in the stories. And one of the reasons I believe that, is now I do use video in my listings, but only for bags that are worth about, that I sell for $500 plus. I do believe it adds, it helps, again, build that credibility, and people want to see the actual item that they're selling. And, they push those right into your story now. And I think that's kind of what it has evolved into, which I think is more powerful. People on Poshmark that are shopping, I try to focus on new Poshmark users. There's a whole chapter in the book about how to focus on those new people that haven't sold yet. Those are the gold for my business. And if I look at who I sell to, those people pay the most, often just paying full price, without trying to, negotiate a lower price or making a lowball offer. The people that are selling and have had that experience of getting offers at 50% off, they're the ones that make offers of 50% off, because they kind of think that's the way it works. But, we don't, obviously I don't do that and accept those kind of offers, but going after that new seller and then, or new buyer, sorry, and, getting connected with them, it's powerful. And Poshmark is the only place that has something like that. Now, I don't sell on Mercari. I've worked with the Mercari people, they, as part of their pro reseller program, but I just didn't really think it was a good fit. And my demographic, customers a little bit different. So and for me managing, I run this business for about 2 hours a day. So it's and I do still manage, 80% of it on my phone. Some stuff my workflow is better on the computer, on my laptop, but I need to be surgical where I allocate my time. And so I focus on 3 platforms, the ones I've mentioned: Poshmark, eBay, and Tradesy. And they all go up and down. Sometimes I'll have an awesome weekend on eBay and not so much on Tradesy, and vice versa. And, this weekend it's a little different, where Poshmark is killing it and eBay's been quiet. So spreading yourself out on these marketplaces, I think, is really important.
Yeah, definitely. Going back to building your credibility, that's the question I forgot about, is I know you mentioned that people are going to look at your comments and things on your post. For me, if I get an offer and it's kind of I'm not really sure on an offer, either I think that it might be a scammer, or it's somebody that I'm not sure if that's something I want to take, I'll actually go on and look at that About Me page of them. And I look at especially the love given and received, because that tells me a lot. If you've been on Poshmark since 2016 and you haven't given a single love, I'm going to be less likely to go ahead and go an extra 5% lower than I originally wanted.
Yeah. I think that's a great, good way to look at that, their credibility, and whether it's, if somebody offers me 50% off, I typically am not engaging with that person yet. I may decline it, or I'll just give $10 off and see if they even come back. You want to flush those people out as quick as possible, so you can focus on the people that are getting into that reasonable offer number, whatever that is for you.
Right.
I try to price my bags. My current off of the store price is like 56%. So I don't want to lower my price very much, because they're selling. I mean, I don't have a problem selling things. I have a problem sourcing things constantly, getting new products. But the one thing I would add too is, if you're going to have that discussion, don't have it on your page, on your product listing. Go to their closet, and if they don't have anything on there, if they just set up and they haven't created their about listing yet, you can't really do it. And some folks don't have an about listing, they didn't follow through, but they may have a sold listing if they've sold a few things. And you comment on there, engage and have that conversation on their closet. So if you get some,
See, I normally do mine in the bundle area.
Yeah, that's great too. And those are public as well, but I don't think they stick around very much. And I do the same thing. And so, if somebody asks that question, which I just can't stand on Poshmark, what's your lowest? I mean, it's ridiculous. I just immediately mark them as spam, and I just don't reply to those people, because that's not my customer. And I want to wait. I don't believe you should let your customers set your prices. You should be the expert. You should research what something sells for, and then put your price. And if it doesn't sell, that's how you learn. Okay, maybe I need to lower my price a little more, lower my price. And now with the new bulk tools of price lowering and everything, it's very, it's much more efficient to manage the pricing of your items in your closet than it used to be. So I do like the item, or that concept of looking at the buyer to see if they're legit or not.
It's funny that you mentioned the what's your lowest. As I actually did have someone ask me what my lowest was, and I turned the table on her, and I said, "What do you think it's worth? What is it worth to you?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Maybe we can meet in the middle of whatever you think it's worth."
That's great.
And she threw me out a price, which I was very, very happy with. And I said, "I will accept your price."
That's great.
And, it was a bag actually. And I don't know how many people look at this bag. And I kept making offers. And this person came up to what I was actually going to offer them anyhow.
Nice.
So,
yeah, that's great.
I'm like starting to wonder if we're not on right now, because I know that's been a problem, because we normally have several people in here by now. So I'm kind of
It says we're
wondering if maybe it's not working. But either way, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a books. So if anyone, because actually Lori told me she was going to jump on, and she just lives up the block from me and she's not here yet. So what we're going to do is, what I need everybody to do is go to Shannon Jeans. You got Instagram?
Oh yeah. You can. The best way to find is just go to my website, shannonjean.com. It's just my name. You can find everything.
So go to shannonjean.com. Make sure you are following Shannon on his Facebook, Instagram, all of those links. Send him a like. Let him know that you appreciated getting some info from us. And I'll be kind of psycho ex-girlfriend stalking his stuff to see if you're on there. And I will be writing people's names down that are liking Shannon, and then also post a comment here in this video, and we will be adding you to the list. And then I'll send out messages to our winner of Poshmark Unlocked. Got to get it in frame, and an eBay Unlocked. And then next week, when we go through the rest of week 1's lessons, we will do another book giveaway. And Shannon, I want to thank you so much for giving so much of your time to us. I'm sorry we didn't have our people show up.
That's
At
okay.
least if it comes out as recorded, we'll get some messages that way for you.
Sounds great.
Really appreciate it. I do want to strongly suggest, if you don't win it, buy Poshmark Unlocked. It's a great tool to use, especially for people that are just starting out. I actually bought it before I even started selling. I bought the Kindle version.
Yeah.
Because I'm like that. So I definitely strongly suggest it, especially because it gives you access to Shannon's Facebook group, which is probably my go-to. If I hear a rumor about something that's supposed to be happening on Poshmark, I usually go straight to Shannon's page and kind of look around and see if there's any nuggets in there. Because usually if there's not nuggets in there, it's not real.
Yeah, the great thing about that group is there's just no drama. It's people that are very business focused. We want to, find out how to build our businesses, support each other. And, it's a great group of very, positive people, and it works out really well.
Yep. Yeah,
but thanks for having me. I'm, love talking about this stuff. Anybody has questions, you can email me at shannonjean.com, or go to my website. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Shannon.
Thank you, Shannon. Bye.
Bye-bye now.
All right, we'll let him go, and then we'll do a little, see if we're on here. We'll kind of focus a little more now on, because I didn't want to keep him too long. It's
I know.
Half an hour. And I actually thought Shannon was a girl all this time, because I had the Kindle version. I didn't see the picture on the Kindle version.
Oh.
But he has some nice bags. Look, guys.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, and all
I'm
that.
definitely going to be checking out his Poshmark store, even though I can't buy from there.
That's Rebounded is his Poshmark.
Yes, I wrote it on. Did you not see me looking over? I was writing.
Yeah, I was
honestly was saying it.
Yeah, and I was taking some notes too on Google Trends, because
yes,
that's one that I didn't think about before. Because like when we're thinking about doing research on things that we're selling, and all of that, it is important to look outside of just the Poshmark land, because
definitely.
I honestly am pricing more now based on eBay, just because for the most part eBay is usually pretty right on to what the stuff's selling for. They're not people.
Yeah,
People aren't marking up
check both the solds on. I check the solds on Poshmark Canada and the solds on eBay as well.
Yeah. Sorry, Shannon just like sent me a note thanking me for having him on our show. And thank you. So we're gonna send him a thank you. So much. Okay, you can talk. So you actually went ahead some. I only did up to section 8.
Yeah, I did the whole week
because you were so good, and I was
well,
like,
it's because once I got into it, it was just like, you know, keep going, keep going, keep going. So yeah, it was very interesting. And I want to say for everybody who's watching, they give you like one of the very first exercises they give you to do. And I highly suggest that you actually do go sign up for this free course, because in each lesson, they give you links to other websites that gives you even more information. But one of the very first things they said to do is the exercise was Google yourself.
Yeah.
So did you Google yourself, Holly?
I have a Google alert thing. You can actually do that. You can set up, because I used to do this originally for my son, because my son did acting and modeling and stuff. So like a way for us to protect our kids from pedophiles and stuff is we actually set up Google searches that it's like anytime whatever the keywords you're searching come up, it'll actually send you an email. So that's like a really good thing to do too. Is like,
especially if you have young,
and that's part of like what he was talking about in the book, is building that credibility and going and Googling yourself and knowing what's being said about you.
So how much did you find out about yourself?
Okay, well, me as a company, it's not really a lot, except for like posts and things that I have out there. On a personal basis, I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there, like with things that I did as a disabled veteran outreach program specialist, divorce issues.
Wow.
It's like life, your life is online. And even if you've deleted it, all you have to do, you actually do better than a Google search yourself. You should do Wayback Machine yourself.
Yeah, Wayback Time Machine, yes.
Yeah, because that's really going to show you what people are talking and what you got on there.
But I mean, within the first couple of pages, I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about half this stuff. So I'm just going to read a quick list.
Okay.
LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google, Images, Pinterest, Etsy, WordPress, MyHeritage.com, Wikipedia, Amazon.com, my high school, my husband's website, Flickr, Environmental Hamilton here in Ontario, and YouTube, and this goes back, Foursquare.
Oh yeah, that's a long time ago.
That's just like within the first couple of pages. I'm like, oh my God, did I really do all this stuff? And I did. Yeah. And the Wikipedia actually came from the Wikimedia, where I had taken some pictures on Lake Erie, and I uploaded them to Wikimedia, and then somebody used them off of Wikimedia to write a post in Wikipedia.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, so I was like, well, that's pretty cool, so.
You can keep talking, because I'm trying to see if we're actually live or not. If something,
it's showing live up above your
I know, but I don't know, because we
see that also with the plants and earth.
We have
plants and herbs, do we?
No, it was a YouTube video actually.
Oh, okay.
Clicked at the time that I'm trying to go onto mine. Okay.
So anyhow, everyone, that's called your digital footprint, and that's one way to find out what your digital footprint is all about.
Everyone, that's called your digital footprint, and that's one way to find out what your.
Okay. We're live.
We are live. Okay.
Like, come on, guys, we got prizes to give away too, and nobody's showing up.
Yeah, I know.
What is up with that? And it's social media. We're failing at social media during a class on social media.
And then there's another one about, it's not only your digital footprint, but your data online.
Yeah.
So Facebook, they give you a link. I mean, this is, I really
a good thing
enjoyed
to
this
use
course.
Yeah, use a VPN or go in alias mode.
Mhm.
That's usually kind of your best thing. If you don't want what you're fixing to do to be tracked,
Mhm.
go in alias mode. If you consistently do not want to be tracked, if you don't want those cookies on you following you through, get a VPN. They're not that much.
Yeah.
It's like maybe $10 a month.
Yeah.
And nothing can follow you. Nothing knows what you're doing. They can't get your data trends and all of that.
Yeah.
And hopefully, I mean, they're looking at making it a requirement that Facebook and these kinds of groups, Google, have to pay you
Yeah.
because they're getting paid on your information. So that's
Yeah,
actually
because
something that
I
people
didn't know that. I knew you could check on Facebook. I've done it before. I didn't know you could check on Google, which is, by the way, everyone, it's takeout.google.com/settings/takeout. So, yeah, try it. See what Google's really got on you.
Now, did you read the it has after section 8, it had like a couple little links, or it may have been earlier than 8. It had links to a couple stories or like additional information things. Like one was on Sprout and stuff. And that was something that like kind of what I was trying to target with Shannon in knowing what the different platforms do
Mhm.
and how you should be building your social media plan to adjust for, okay, LinkedIn, this is my professional. I want professional pictures of me. I don't want my pictures of me just going for a walk or to the beach. I want professional pictures of me. I want my resume. I want this kind of information on there. When you're coming into a different business as well, you still want to put the other businesses that you're in, because you can always, I mean, this was part of my world for life, was helping people write their resumes based on their past experiences and being able to take your skills and knowledge from one business or one job and being able to write it up so that it matches the job you're looking for. Nowadays, you should not have one resume ever.
No.
If you're really looking for work, or if you're looking to expand, in this case, we're trying to be resellers, trying to have this type of business platform or multiple businesses within it, like Leslie from A Reseller's Passion. She's got her, I think she's has like 8 or 9 different streams of revenue, and all of those are different type of job with different skills and those kinds of things. So you want to have the jobs that you've done before and you're doing now, and really target where are you going right now. So I know we've both talked about working in manufacturing and those kinds of things, and being able to, as we're going through these classes, we're able to think more about how those different business lessons that we've learned and are learning again now through these classes, how they pair up with what we want to do as resellers. And you really want to, on LinkedIn, you want to really pop those up there, especially if you're trying to contact companies directly, like Louis Vuitton, Poshmark, those companies that you're wanting to build a business relationship with. That's very important to have that. I actually had deleted my LinkedIn, but I still get information from them. And I'm like, I deleted it. So why am I still getting stuff?
I was on LinkedIn today. It's like, yeah. No, my LinkedIn is still has all my work stuff, all my committees that I was on, awards that I won, all that good stuff. No, I don't have any of my reseller stuff up there right now, but it is something that I am going to look into. But LinkedIn, for those of you who don't know, they do have like a little email / messaging system, and you can keep up with people that you used to work with. Because that's why I was on there today, was keeping up with a couple of people. Unfortunately, I found out that a friend passed away.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So actually today I found out 2 friends had passed away. So
Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
that's
Terry.
okay. You know, one was a boss of mine. She was the best boss I ever had.
Oh, darn. I was fixing to go, oh, boss, good. No, it's just,
No, she was a year younger than me, and she was the best boss I ever had my entire life.
that's awesome.
You know,
Well,
so
it's not awesome that she died, but
yeah,
it's awesome that she was a great boss.
yeah. She's a great human being, just all over. I mean, yeah. I used to take her home at night, and we'd sit in the car and talk for like an hour.
Yeah, it's sort of like we end up doing.
Yeah.
Tonight we're not going too long because we actually missed my girl no, I just forgot, Racks to Riches Sunday night. She has the Sunday night sip. So we have to start getting off earlier so that we can get over and support our girl on our Racks to Riches for Sunday night sip. And I actually started beforehand. I had a little limoncello for the day. But so going back to building a social media plan, which is kind of like where we're at the end of this 8th part of information. We all kind of know what social media is. So like those first couple of lessons, I'm sure everybody did really well, you know, or you can go and take the test now if you want to join us on this little mission. You'll take the little test and, you know, I'm sure everybody's going to pass it, flying colors.
Mhm.
But going into the things like on Sprout, where you're now talking about, because like my first focus when we're talking about social media plan and defining your business, you know, my immediate paradigm is going to your style sheets. You know, what colors are you using? What are your headers looking like? What fonts are you using? And that kind of stuff is like the first thing my brain goes to, because I've got a degree in web design. So that's like one
So
of the
you're looking at branding, because that's the
right.
whole
I'm
branding
looking at the
thing.
branding part, but branding does also go into the things that they were talking about, and
Mhm.
that's your tone. Like, how do you speak? Burger King, excellent example. Burger King is very snarky and sarcastic. Their posts on like Twitter are always zingers. You know, it's like being a little smartass kind of thing.
Mhm.
But then when you look at Burger King, like the information that they're putting out to corporate shareholders and those kinds of things are going to have a completely different tone. So when you're building your social media plan, you need to not just have one generic everything, because you're going to be acting in different ways in different scenarios. So you really do need to take what this lesson was about, is write down all of the social media that you can think of, including Poshmark, because Poshmark is social media related. So you want to write down, okay, this platform, TikTok, is for making little videos that I can have like tips and tricks in. It's going to be, your tone is going to be more comical, more laid back, very casual. So you're going to want to write that out. Okay, this is the way that I will react. I mean, that's a big thing too. How do you react? Because on TikTok, people are getting slammed for being resellers, because they think resellers on people on TikTok are like going for the resellers. They think you're stealing from the poor and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's little what they call clapback videos where people are like, no, I'm not selling from the poor. Here's the 5,000 tons of stuff that we were just going through to get this. So you really need to think about that. Am I going to be a clapbacker, which means being a sarcastic kind of tone on all of the social medias like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram? Or am I only going to do that on TikTok? Because that's more of the super young group that's what they react to. If they say something to you, they're expecting a clap back. That's kind of the way that age demographic works. Whereas on Facebook, especially now, I mean, now we have a really, really hard time, and why it's so important. Don't get involved in drama. People just don't, because the way things are going right now is if you're on one side of the line today, tomorrow that line may have moved behind you, and now you're looking at being canceled. So it's really important in this day and age, if you're working on your business account, you need to be about your business. You need to not have your business name associated with either side, to neutral and out of it and be a business. 1,000% agree that there are people out there that are very pro this, that, or the other, and they want that to be part of their brand. Is I'm a social warrior, and this is my brand, and this is what I do. That's great. You're making that choice, but think about where you're doing that, because a lot of times those kinds of things, either side of any of the issues, those kinds of things can actually hurt you going forward, and it makes, in some cases, can make you look less professional. A lot of businesses are having issues because they've gone from trying to stay neutral to being kind of made to feel like they had to pick a side, and then they didn't pick the side far enough, and so then they're getting, it's like you cut your own throat in that case, because you went with one thing, but they didn't think that that was enough, or the other side thought it was too much. So you can't win. Be about your business. Try and think about how you're going to react on all the different platforms.
Try and be Switzerland on all the platforms.
Exactly. Well, and that's something too that's funny about Switzerland is Switzerland is neutral when it comes to wars and stuff, but they're probably one of the most highly armed countries in the world. When you're driving through the mountains of Switzerland, most of those mountains have a military base inside them, and that's not an exaggeration. Switzerland is, and that's like you're saying, if you want to be Switzerland, think about it. You're telling the rest of the world, my name's Bennett and I ain't in it, but I'm able to defend myself. I'm able to defend myself. I've got plenty of ammunition to defend myself. So keep that in mind. But, when you're defending yourself, also think about how.
I wonder if they're that heavily armed just because I happen to know that a lot of corporation headquarters are in Switzerland due to the tax breaks.
Well, I mean, obviously you have the banks. So
you have a lot of the large pharmaceutical companies are there.
Like Bayer and stuff are in Germany.
Well, Novartis is in Switzerland.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, you've got huge amounts of money in Switzerland, and that's like a really big part of it. You also have several scientific groups like the Hydrogen Collider or Hyron. I forgot the first part of
I know
the.
who you're thinking of. I can't think of it now, though.
It starts with an H, and I'm like
Yeah.
trying to say it, and I'm saying hydrogen, and that's no,
No.
it's not hydrogen.
It's not hydrogen.
Um,
Yeah,
but-
but there's just a lot of, and so I have to kind of wonder, are they there for the protection of all these big corporations and the
no, they're to
Heads up.
protect the money.
Oh,
Yeah, that's. I
Well-
mean, the businesses have the money there too, but their main focus is to protect their people and money.
right. Well, most of the large corporations that are there, their head officials live there as well. So
So, but I mean,
I
that's
just know that from a company I worked for. So
okay. So that's like one of the comments that they said to make of the side no, it was in her video that she said, write down all of the social media platforms.
mhm.
Now, write down how those could be used in your business and how and you really want to do, I mean, she didn't really go into it as much, but we're kind of now is sorry, I'm drinking bubble water. Being able to objectively decide, will the tone that I like to use as part of my brand, will the things that I'm selling or creating or what be useful under this platform? Are there things that I like or don't like about the platform that make it more of a something that you're not going to be as excited to be on? So you really need to do that with every single platform and think about and make specific decisions. Just like he said that they're only on 3 platforms.
3 platforms, yeah.
The same thing, we want to do that with our platforms, but we also need to do it with our social media. I actually had started a Facebook page for Hunter Ryan, and I don't know. I just felt like it was too much of an ad.
Yeah, I have one for Terry's Finds as well, and I think I'm going to just, ditch it.
I mean, yeah, I just deleted my Facebook.
You can
for
only
that ad.
Your hands in so many pots, and that's
Right.
that's about it.
And the only
Especially
bad
when
thing-
you're just one person doing it.
Right. Well, we're 2, but my son just mainly does like the picking and carrying heavy stuff.
Right.
This is his business, but he doesn't want to be doing this part, so I get to do this part.
Right.
And that's another part too. Is are you in the business, but you don't really want to be on videos? You don't really want to do videos. Well, do you have a family member or a friend that can be your front person? Like I am for my son.
And I should say we're 2 as well, because my business is actually in my husband's name. And he runs everything to the post office.
Yeah.
So, and he carries heavy stuff for me. So yeah, he's that's what he does. Right.
Yeah. So, yeah. And I mean, it's good, especially when we, don't know from one day to the next if we're going to be able to do something. And that's another part of our I'm trying to think of the word I wanted to use, but a part of my DNA and my son's DNA in this business is that we're both disabled veterans. We both are at risk of suicide because of things within our life, military and civilian. So that's like a really important piece to us. And that's why all of the business cards that we use have information about Mission 22. Mission 22 sent me some flyers that tell about them, and I actually, sorry guys, too much trouble. And I actually put those in my orders. I don't put them in Mercari and eBay just because it's adding weight, and Mercari and eBay, you got a little bit of an issue with with weight, whereas with Poshmark, it's up to 5 pounds. So
Yeah.
and I've had people actually ask for them in some cases because they're also interested in that, and that's a great thing. And that's something too that I have to think about in how I act, is that I've attached my name, whether they have control over it or not, to Mission 22, because I'm telling people, this is important to me. This is a part of my DNA. This is something that I'm going to promote. So, hi, we have one viewer. Hi, viewer. We still have a book to give away, so you might be winning.
I'm
send us a
sitting here
comment.
looking in comments, and it's like, I see no comments.
No, it's like I have, like, next to the live, I have like a little eyeball that tells me if we
Oh,
have
tells you how
or
many
not.
people.
So we've got a 1 showed up finally. So now we know the videos. Now we know the live is actually working and someone is here with us. And you could possibly win Poshmark Unlocked. We already had Shannon, the author of Poshmark Unlocked, and eBay Unlocked. And we're giving away books today. And then we've got books to do for the rest of the series. Just give us a comment if you're here, and you could win our live chat book. And otherwise, just put a comment in after the book is done, after the chat's done. Go ahead and leave comments. Go and follow Shannon. His closet is rebounded, and his site is shannonjean.com, and that's got all his links to all the stuff. Really important, a really great book. It gives you a lot of great information on working your business. And like I said, we're talking about social media, and Poshmark is a social media app. So are you using the reels and the stories?
Am I? No, not yet. What I was going to ask you before you asked me a question was, do you know what social media that you are going to be looking at using? I know you use Instagram. I know you use YouTube. Are there any others that you're looking at doing?
Right now, I only do YouTube, Instagram, and then I do belong to groups as myself on Facebook. The only reason I'm contemplating going back and restarting my Facebook for Hunter Ryan is because there's some things that I want to do as far as groups, like for this kind of video and stuff like that. And using StreamYard, it can actually, like right now we're streaming to YouTube. It can also stream to your Facebook page, to your LinkedIn profile, so that's something to think about too, is your social media brand plan. When it comes to YouTube, a lot of us, especially in reselling, are a lot more laid back.
Right.
And that's kind of my brand, is I don't really do editing. This is like as fancy as I get. I have my
I know, I was surprised to see that.
I only did it because we're talking about branding. So I mean, lately I've been working, and that's part of my brand and who I am. Like going and working in the inventory room and trying to get everything up to date, and moved into this new inventory control program called ToteScan. So kind of that is us to be showing, okay, look, I don't have like this glamour thing going on. This is the workroom. You see, the stuff all behind me. And those are things to think about. I've noticed, actually, it's kind of funny, and I know it doesn't actually have anything to do with me, but I've kind of noticed like more people that have originally been showing themselves as, my cute house and my cute workspace and all of this stuff, have actually started showing reality images and
You,
reality.
you don't want to see, you don't want to see the reality of
Well,
mine.
and that's part of my brand is I'm going to show you guys the hot mess that I'm in, because that's part of who my son and I are and what our brand is. It's like no nonsense. Here's what is really happening when you buy 13 200-pound boxes of clothes. You end up with 6 tons of stuff, and when it's just 2 people going through that, it's not very fast, so you have like giant mounds everywhere. So, and I just feel like that is more authentic. Oh, we have a second person joining us. Hi.
Hello.
We have books to give away. If anybody wants to post in there, we have Poshmark Unlocked and eBay Unlocked. So for me, my social media plan right now, and this is something that I'm really trying to think hard on, is I wasn't thinking of doing LinkedIn again, but Shannon's ideas of using the LinkedIn as how you contact businesses has me
I
thinking
never
that
even,
might be something.
I never even thought of that. Like I
Yeah.
said,
Well, I mean,
I go there and message past
yeah, you're
coworkers that I became really good friends with, right? And well, not just coworkers, but other people that I've met through life who are also on LinkedIn, and it's like the only place they're at. So it's the only place I can contact them at. And yeah.
Yeah, but again, we need to make more than one social media plan. Then when you're looking at something so different as reels and Instagram TV, I try and do a lot of stuff now on on Instagram, like my unboxings and stuff. It's like I call it mail call now, because for me, I try to be more kind of bare bones, not trying to be fancy. I'm not begging people to follow me or anything like that, because that's not who I am. And right now, I don't do any editing. This is the fancy you get right here, the little Pushtopia Studios. And then I also have one, and it's kind of part of the branding, like different parts of you. So this Pushtopia Studios part is supposed to be for like unboxings, like really nice unboxings, or videos like what we're doing now with the Reseller Inc., trying to help people learn different things to do and grow our businesses. But then I also got from the same lady on Etsy, I got a Hunter Ryan that's in kind of like a silver blue, and that's going to be downstairs once I get my table set up and everything, where I'm going to be doing my rehabbing, because that's like a big part of where I want to go, is mostly into rehabbing of leather goods, so bags, shoes, leather jackets, coats, and stuff. And so I have a lot of those things now, but I just need to fix the space so I can do that. So that's going to be kind of showing 2 different sides. When you see Poshtopia, you're going to think, okay, that's her. She's reselling. She's doing unboxings and stuff like that. Then when you see Hunter Ryan behind, that's going to be kind of the lead in that, oh, okay, this is going to be a tips, tricks, how to, and actually, be a cleaning or rehabbing, that kind of thing episode. Like the how to's will be Hunter Ryan, and the hey, what's going on? Here's stuff that I got. That's going to be under Poshtopia. So, even within one social media platform, you can have the need to make 2 separate entities, as far as writing down, okay, this is my tone for this. This is my tone for this. For my how-tos, I try to be less talky like I am, like the regular stuff. It's more, I only want to say the information that's as the process is being done, so
Mhm.
that I don't end up going off on a tangent and then I've lost my place where I was, or I've continued doing part of the process and the person watching me has no clue what I've done because I was talking about, something else. So those are things that you need to think about. What's your tone going to be? How are you going to be providing information on Instagram? Are you doing reels? Are you doing Instagram lives? Those two also, again, different vibe. Are you being silly, kind of TikTok crazy for
Yes,
your
I could never do TikTok.
uh,
I
you know,
can be silly. I just would never personally do TikTok.
yeah, no. I mean, I'm doing reels. I have done a couple reels, but they're not like most people are doing. It's not like, well, I did one where I used one of the sound things, but for the most part, I'm not sure if I'm going to do that much, and the
Yeah,
little hand thing. That's not really me.
right.
And so you have to be honest with yourself. Yes, it can be a great tool, no doubt. A lot of people are getting a lot more followers and a lot more engagement from doing it. But is it something that you can maintain within a tone and have it actually be positive towards your business? And for me right now, I don't think so. For me, that it would work. The reels are kind of easy, like if I think the one I've done so far is like where you like put down the different clothes that you made, one on
Mhm.
top of the other that you got in your haul. So yeah, that I don't really know about the pointing thing. Maybe, um, but I'm not sure. And that's why you have to take that time to write it out. And if you're
Yeah,
not sure, like I'm not sure right now, so that's not going to be something I'm going to address right now. I'm going to work on the things that I am sure, yes or no.
yeah,
You know.
me too.
So, what was the other one? I was fixing to bring up another one. I hate getting old. It sucks. And see,
I'm
that's another
older
part
than
of being,
you, so
yeah, and it's part of being like real us is that you start to say something and your brain just goes, yeah, I'm not working right now. Break. I need a break. Um, Dang it. Oh, what some of this stuff that and I was gonna bring it up when Shannon was here because I was gonna say something to him about that. Um, Building like he said like he was documenting his process. And that's like one way that I know I'm failing really badly is I gotten like several reseller planners. I even got a not reseller planner that I was going to use for the stuff that the reseller planner doesn't have. And yeah, I used the back of one today to or last night when my internet was not working, so I couldn't upload sizes to YouTube or to Vendu. So I was just like writing them down. So basically, that's what I've used my planner so far. Is I didn't have my notebook, so I wrote in the back of it. So that's something that I know is really important for me. And where it ties into social media is making a social media calendar.
mhm.
That was on, I think that was on the Sprout. Because there was like 3 or 4 different pages that it
Yeah.
had you go to talk about the steps that you need to take in building your social
As you
media.
get further along, there's more.
Yeah, and but that was like something that I read that and I was like, you talked about doing it. but you haven't done it. And I mean, even with our Sunday nights, we've had stuff come up, and it's like we've put it off Sunday night because we didn't really have. We had like a couple people that show up, and I don't know if the 2 people watching right now that aren't chatting to us, I don't know if you guys are regulars or not, but that is one part of, if you want to build a followable YouTube, you know, if I really wanted to build up and get a bunch of followers and stuff like that, we would say, okay, Sunday night, every Sunday night, you know, if there's a problem, we'll put out information beforehand instead of 5 minutes before when Terry asked me, are you doing it? I'm like, oh no, didn't you realize there's a hurricane? So no. You know, that
I live in Canada, honey, not Florida.
yeah, I was like, you know, you're like, are we meeting? I'm like, dude, there's a hurricane like 25 minutes from my house right now. No. And I have a migraine. So that's something that I know I want to do. I've sort of tried to do it before, but then kind of failed at, and it is hard because both Terry and I were disabled. So it is a little bit harder. We've got another viewer.
Yay.
Leave a message. We're giving away books today.
Give us comments.
Yeah, like the other people that are looking are like, okay, if another person comes in and she brings up a recap of everything we've already watched, I'm going to then like everybody goes away. But you know, and that's what I just did there. That's my tone that, you know, I should be writing that down, is that I am kind of sardonic and sarcastic, and I do let, you know, some more colorful words fly. And if I wanted to be more serious about growing a channel and making this like an income stream or whatever, I need to think about those things, because that's definitely you know, I could be losing an audience because I do drop some special words every now and then, or, you know, because I don't go through and edit things and add little catchy phrases or stuff like that, because at this point I want to be raw and real, because I kind of look at it as my brand on this is like, after you're done watching all the perfect people, come over and we'll talk real. You know, that's and that's something that I can literally write down and say, this is my tone, this is what I want to be, and now I need to figure out how I can do that but still remain in the rules for different things, like LinkedIn. You know, LinkedIn, you have to be more professional, but you can still be real.
Oh yeah.
So there you're talking more like the language and things like that, and being more succinct and having an actual, okay, here's what we're going to talk about, you know, and doing that list of what you're actually going to follow through. Whereas, you know, in our chats here, we're, okay, here's the lesson. Let's go over it. Okay, now let's talk about how that information can be used on our business. And in this case, it's exactly what we're doing right now, defining where do I want to be and how do I want to be there. And that's pretty much the lesson altogether right there. Where do you want to be and how do you want to be there? And
yes, that's it.
I mean, that's literally.
But I mean, but like I said, I really did enjoy this one, and I just kept going and going, because they had more and more information that you really didn't, when you were looking at it, whether on an iPhone or on your computer, or, you know, laptop, whatever, you're going, there's really not a lot of information here. Scroll down, people. There are links, and these links are fabulous. I mean, they take you to some really good websites.
Yeah.
I found there was one that I went to that was a couple years old, so that one probably could have done with an update, but
Yeah.
it's where they sent us to, so maybe it's still relevant.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, definitely look at the resources. I mean, we're trying to break this down because I think we only like under free. I think we have it for like 2 weeks longer than the course is supposed to be. So
I honestly don't remember.
if you're starting today, it's a 3-week course, so you should
A
have
2-week
access.
course.
Huh? Oh,
A
it's a
2-week
2-week.
course. And we're breaking it into 4 weeks.
Okay. We have to make sure that it'll let us have access for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
That's something. So for all the people joining, you'll definitely have access for at least 3 weeks. It may go 4 weeks. I don't remember for sure.
That's why I
but-
took all my great notes.
yeah. So the course that we're doing, we've lost someone else. The course that we're doing is on Future Learn, and it is digital skills, social media, using social media for your business. So today we covered up until the end of part 8 of week 1. So how much?
That was the first 2. It goes to 20. There's 20 parts.
There's 20 parts. So let's do
The
for
last one is just a recap. So it's so
Okay.
really 19.
So let's do another 8. So let's go to 16. Or yeah, let's go to 14. Because that'll give us 3 weeks on that. I don't know. Trying to think because we need 2 weeks for the other one too.
Yeah,
So
just
yeah,
20.
so let's try and get through the rest of week 1, guys. If you're catching up, the first 8 or like half of them are just an introduction, kind of syllabus day. If you remember syllabus day from school, from college. So let's try and go ahead and go through to the end of week 1 of digital skills, social media. And we will be back next Sunday again to talk about it. And I'm putting that in my calendar.
Okay.
And,
So I just wanted to point out that the
Okay.
next one is the social media journey. And that's 1.9 through 1.19. So it is 10. So I think we should just cover them all.
yeah.
And
So we'll just go to the end of the lesson
yeah.
for week 1. And then that way the next week's lessons we can split into 2 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that we're not having to do it all. But if you have the time, some of the links are like multiple sources that are kind of like giving the same information. So there is some redundancy in the outside resources that they send you to, but there will still be like little nuggets in one that might not be in the other. I definitely suggest the Sprout one that was like the resource about like what social media is and how to build your plan. I thought that was probably the most cohesive in determining that let's make a list. What do I want to use? What do I not want to use? What am I going to think about maybe using if I want to make some changes or, those kinds of things. So we lost our last person.
Aw.
But hopefully we didn't lose you and you're watching and you watched us all the way through on the recap, the record, and we love you so much for doing that. And leave us a message so that we can give you one of these awesome books. So
Yeah.
you can unlock your potential to a six-figure income. Shannon did a really great book here. So you've got this is like literally every step of what you do. It's giving you like because you'll always have, like, people ask a lot, like, what is getting an ambassadorship? What does that do? And it, breaks that down for you. The first section is what is a social media, or social e-commerce, social commerce. So it kind of breaks out where that plays with Poshmark, like we talked about with Shannon, because that is really different. Because a lot of people are like, I hate sharing, I hate doing this, and I hate doing that. But I personally, I know I bought a lot more when I first started, and I was sharing everybody's closet and didn't know to share my own. I thought I was supposed to share everybody else's. And then, because that was the other thing too, I didn't understand, is that when you share someone else's closet, it does show up in the feed of people following you, but people don't really shop by the feeds on Poshmark. It's like set up to kind of do that. It's set up so that feed is supposed to be kind of like your Facebook feed kind of situation. But not that many people do really shop off of the feed. So when you're sharing other people's items, a big part of that is that that's supposed to get you buying, because you're supposed to be looking at those things. And that's kind of like why they had the anti-bot stuff, and all of that is because they want you to go and share, because you going to share is what gets you to buy stuff. So, that's one thing. And then if a lot of people are just like immediately jumping on the mass upload. Like now you can go in and you can click every single thing and then I'll upload. Okay. What some people are not understanding is that share, when you share and you're sharing in bulk and you share everything, it's sharing as one item. So it's like, it's not bumping everything to the top the same way as if you share things individually. So keep that in mind. The main purpose of this bulk sharing is so that people that can't afford or don't want to pay for or don't want to use bots or extensions or anything like that, but feel like they're being, trying to think of the wording here. Like a lot of people automatically think if you're using a bot or an extension, you just got it running 24/7 and your stuff's always good.
And yeah, no, you don't.
You can't. I actually, when I am not having as many trimmers and stuff like that, and I can actually sit there and do my little sharing through, I share faster when I'm physically able to do it, and I'm not having my spasms where I like
I know, me too. Like I use my iPad.
Especially with the phone. Oh my God. With the phone, it's so bad because when I get my trimmers, it's actually harder for me on the share all thing because you're just tapping like that. And so I'll get trimmers and it's like I'm sitting there fighting for 2 hours to try and share on the share all together versus share individually, because I'm sitting there fighting with myself because it's okay. I clicked it. I want to share it. Oh, my spasm just unclicked it. So I'm sitting there for like 5 minutes trying to make my hand just, it's like pull my hand away so it doesn't double tap it. So, in that stead, I personally, if I'm physically able to share, I'd rather share individually just because it does bump everything to the top. Yeah. When you're sharing other people's stuff, it's not really doing anything other than in anybody that follows you, they're going to see that in their feed. You know, if they're following me, it'll say Hunter Ryan just shared, and I'll get a list of things that I shared from that other person's closet. So that's a big part of the social aspect of social commerce when it comes to Poshmark, is that they really wanted that news feed to come across to people as like your Facebook feed, but people aren't really doing that. And so
Yeah.
that's, you know, that's something positive maybe that we're missing out on, but we just don't have time. You know, a lot of people just don't have time to try and bump that up when we know that the majority of people aren't using that. So it's a lot more important to spend that time finding and thinking about SEO words. So you're not just showing up on Poshmark. I mean, you do not want to make your ads or your listings so that they're targeted just to that platform. You want Google or any of these other search engines that are out there, you want them pulling your link. The more guest purchases that you have, that lets you know that's the better that you're doing. If you're getting a lot of guest purchases on your Poshmark, you're using CEO well. Keep doing it. And like Shannon said, the backgrounds and stuff like that, just delete them. Because I actually, before we came on, someone had asked something about how to make like an inexpensive background for them, because it was somebody in a beginners group that I'm in. And you know, I basically said, I'm like, look, that's on me.
That's for me.
Okay. You know, like this
My
is
cricket.
actually this is just curtain rods, you know, and this is like just a piece of shimmer. But what I had before, I already took it down. Hit me in the head. I originally, when I first started, I actually set this up with white shower curtains, like fabric shower curtains, and then I had shears. So I had like white shears over white, you know, nice opaque fabric shower curtains, and it's just one thing this way, one thing that way. And yeah, and I have like the little fuzzy carpet and everything. Well, now I'm going to be pulling all of those pictures up and just using photo room to delete all the backgrounds, because that, and I notice it too, because I will Google different items in my closet, and you want to see your stuff in that little, on the right hand side, it'll have like 6 or 8 things that it's found on different store sites for the thing you just Google search. You want to see your picture on there. You want to see like your item. So I always know when I need to work on a listing by Google searching what do I have my title as for this listing. Google search that. If I'm not in those top 6, I'm missing out. And your stuff should automatically show up because it's already got a link to your accounts. So you should show up higher than, like, if I Googled your stuff, it's going to be lower than my stuff because of that interrelationship between my Poshmark account and when I'm searching, and your Poshmark account and when you're searching. So if you're not showing up in the first 2 or 3 items, you need to work on your SEO, you need to work on your title, you need to work on your description, and you need to work on your pictures, because you want to see you 1, 2, or 3. Really important. You look like I killed you with that. It's like I've lost Terry. Terry has left the
No. I was just saying, no, I went through a phase a couple months ago, totally forgetting Google SEO because I knew that I was being Googled. And I went through and picked this beautiful pink color that I have on my website somewhere or did have on my website, and then I changed it. And I used my Canva and voila, put pink backgrounds on some of my products. And so I'm going, how many of those do I need to go, as you're talking, how many do I need to go take down and redo and just get rid of that pink background, which will be really easy for me to do in Canva.
Well, I mean, it started with my, like, oh, your cat always freaks me out. I don't know if you guys can see that. So, like, the walls in this room, I don't know if y'all can see it. It's very beige. It's a very kind of like peachy beige color. And so I originally was doing the pictures just with that peachy beige because, it's a nice thing. But then I also had some pictures of my mom's because my mom's an artist. I had that kind of beside it. I thought it was looking cute and kitschy and all that. And then it was like, okay, no, that's not really working. So let me try and do just this side of the wall. So, because, like the sliding door here, it's got the white trim around it. So, I've got like these white blocks in my background too. When I was shooting it on this side, my hands are going opposite of what I'm doing. So then I started shooting it up against this wall where it's just the wall and it's beige. And, I mean, it looked fine. They weren't like hideous. But I definitely see a difference in using Photo Room, and it's super easy. I have it on my iPad. I use the paid version so that you can do multiple pictures at a time. And it just kind of, I do actually go in at times too. And for a lot of stuff, like if it's got small straps and things like that, I do actually go in with my Apple pencil, and I actually go around and try and erase even like the light grays and stuff to try and pop it a little more. So I think that's definitely something I spend probably more time than I should be spending, especially when I have much to do. I do.
Who was supposed to show us how they could photograph really quickly? Wasn't someone supposed to tell us?
I don't. I know Lori. I don't know why she didn't show up. Lori, who lives down the street from me, she's pretty good. She's pretty fast. I'm going a lot faster now. I got a turntable. And I got my turntable big enough that my mannequin. No, I bought it because I have a light box. I like the big light box.
You know, you have the big one.
Yeah,
I want that one.
Light box. And I'm telling you guys, if you're buying a ring light, you might as well wait because the ring light's in the hundreds. Now for a decent sized ring light, you're gonna pay over $100. The light booth that I have was $258 on B&H. So, go an extra month or two and get the box. Because like right now I have 3 lights on me, ring lights on me. And this was stuff that it was like as I was buying them,
Yeah, I see the ring lights in your glasses.
Yeah, you see my two because I have one from
every time you do this, it's like, ooh, she's got
I've got one
eyes.
side, one coming from this side. Normally, like you can't see my eyes because I normally have one in front of me, but I'm kind of going from the side today. But jeez, I just lost my.
You bought it at B&H. Save your money
So
doing ring lights.
Photography studios. I've got like the box. It's basically the same box as most of the people that have Amazon links on their websites, and like I was actually going to add the Amazon link on my thing because B&H won't give me an affiliate thing because I'm a reseller. So whatever, you're dead to me, B&H. No, but don't. You'll actually get it cheaper from B&H. Because I think it's like,
Unless you're in Canada.
yeah, I think it was like $350 for Amazon on Amazon for
I can't
the
remember what it is in Canada. I know it's pretty expensive.
for B&H. The box that I have was $253 about, and then on Amazon it was like $350. So it's like $100 more on Amazon. So just check B&H first, guys. But I got a large, I think it's 18-inch diameter turntable, and it's an electric turntable, so you can plug it in and let it spin. So I did that for a couple things. I put on Instagram like little "this is coming soon" videos, and I'm gonna actually be adding some of those to my listings. It doesn't, the turntable doesn't have like a speed adjustment though, which kind of stinks because it doesn't make a full rotation within the time that we have for the videos on Poshmark. So what I've done is, like, especially with like boots and shoes, I have them facing like that. So like one's facing front, one's facing back. So that way you see the back of one and the front of the other. And then as it turns, you usually get it, it gets just enough so you can see the back of the other one and the front of the other one, but it doesn't make the full 360. So it's still useful that way, but you can actually, this one is one that it's not like a locked in to the spin, so you can actually spin it by your hand. So that helps so much when I'm doing photography. Now I can just put my mannequin on that, and instead of having to take stuff off and turn it around or anything like that, move my mannequin, all I have to do is like just twist the turntable now, and it's going to give me my side and back. Super easy, and I think that's helping a lot as far as photography times. I've mostly been working on purses and shoes lately when I was photographing, and that was super fast because I just like spin it around and get like all my pictures done in a couple minutes for each one. So my biggest problem is I need to stay off social media, but we want to use social media.
We want to use social media, but we kind of get lost in social media.
Yeah, that's the big thing is, you know, and I know when I first started, someone actually posted on, it was an Instagram picture, and it was a lady holding, she was actually standing up on a chair, and she was holding her, like, you know, the packing labels when they're printed on like a Rolo or something. She had like this huge long thing, like even trailing down on the floor of orders, you know, the stickers. And she said, I've been away from Instagram for the last month, and this is what it did. So, you know, that has kind of stuck with me too, and why I haven't gone.
Hi, Barbara.
Oh, Barbara's here. Yay. Barbara, you missed it. So we have two people now. Well, Barbara, since you put a comment, you may be our winner for tonight.
Yeah.
Because nobody else is leaving us comments. The other person that's watching and hasn't commented yet, I know
just say hi.
Well, no, there are some people that have said that like they watch on their TV and they can't comments that way. So that's what I'm saying.
Quickly go on your phone and give us a comment.
Well, they can also just comment on the video after it gets posted. So we can do two. So we can do Barbara gets one and one for comments and following Shannon. But okay, now back to where
we get lost in social media.
yeah, like I just got yeah, that's the biggest thing is like maybe even making that's where I think the idea of having a social media calendar could also help as well. So like as we're trying to build up our own normal reseller planner of, okay, Barbara just did 50 items, 50 jewelry items in a week. And she actually had somebody that she was doing it with. So those are kinds of the goals that you put in your reseller planner. You know, those are the things.
Barbara.
Yeah, Barbara does
more
great.
than I can do in a week. So,
yeah. But we put that stuff in our planners when we actually use our planners, which we need to do. So yeah, and
I have one. I can't find it.
I have like 3, like I said. But we need to also think about that okay, this is what I want to do for my business. I need to list this many items to make this amount of money. And we kind of went through that in our last series that we did, where we broke down like what your math, you know, knowing your average sell prices, what are your through rates, and all of that stuff. Barbara says she can lose herself in social media. Scroll. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about, is that you want to use the tool. That's an important thing, is to use the tool that's out there, because it can help you build your business, but it can also hurt your business, because now you're sitting there on social media for an hour instead of cleaning the boots that you were supposed to be cleaning, or working on your inventory, or those things. So that's where I think having that calendar, that you're going to focus now on making sure that you're putting in your calendar, today I'm going to source for an hour. I'm going to get, and I'm going to have 35 minutes of travel time between. So you got that in your calendar.
And even Shannon said that sourcing was a big part of his.
Yeah.
He does on a daily basis.
Yeah, exactly.
Responding to people.
All of those things that we do, that we kind of, for the most part, I mean, I don't even hear the big resellers talking about that much about like, okay, I'm only giving myself this much time to source. Some do, like I think Leslie does kind of. She's more from a reseller's passion. She's more of the very kind of exacting kind of person. So I could see her having sourcing in her ledger, 30 minutes in and out, and that's what we're going to do. So, and yeah, you do have to give yourself some leeway, but too often we give ourselves too much leeway. So it goes from, okay, I went an extra couple minutes over because I was waiting to see, this one person was looking at something. I was waiting for them to put it back so I could grab it, or the store just got in a huge new shipment, so that instead of them hanging everything up, they kind of just brought it out in a cart. So I spent more time. So those are reasonable things to do. But it's not reasonable when, like, night before last, when I was working on my inventory, it was like, okay, in my head, I didn't like write it down, but in my head, I was like, I had wasted probably 3 hours from the time I went down there, and I got like maybe 15 things done. Because I was like in social media, I was listening to some videos that I was like responding to, and it's like, this is ridiculous. I've just spent 3 hours and I've maybe got 10 things done. So, okay, I'm not going to look at my Facebook. I can hear it dinging. I'm not going to pay attention to it for 3 hours. 3 hours that I'm going to actually do what I'm down here to do. And my internet actually was not working on my iPad for some reason. My iPad just stopped being able to get to Vendo. Vendo was just non-operational, blue screen of death, spinny, spinny, spinny. So
Barbara left a
I
note.
wasn't able to actually go onto Vendo and do anything there. So I knew, and I even knew, if I go upstairs to get a notebook, I'm going to get sidetracked and I'm not going to end up back down here and I'm not going to get this done. So I literally looked around and, like I said, I used the back page of my reseller planner that I haven't used and I need to use to write down the information that I wanted to put into Vendo so that I could relist these items, because I'm doing like measurements on everything and adding that in. So, it happened. It was like the difference between the 3 hours when I was on social media, I was doing other stuff than just what I was down there to do. I got like 10 things done in 3 hours. The 3 hours that I did not allow myself to even listen to the dings for Macari and that stuff, I was like, no, not doing it. The only thing I could get was my phone because the iPad was just not connecting. But it was like, turn the volume off on that. And I just focused 3 hours. I finished, I think it was like 35 items.
Oh, wow.
Doing all my measurements, going in, I'm like adding them into a new inventory system. So it's like all of this stuff that I'm doing, I was just writing them down instead of, typing it in. So, I mean, that saved me time too. I realized from doing that it is faster for me to take notes by pen and then go in later when I'm laying down and I can put stuff in. Okay, so Barbara
The
said
thing about me taking notes by pen is half the time I can't read my own chicken scratch here because I get trimmers as well. So it's like I'll do like, just like a K or something. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, that's why I use acronyms for everything. So. But Barbara says that she restricts herself to 30 minutes in a store. I definitely could not do that. When she was commuting to and from work, she would stop at the Goodwill thrift store after work. So she kept it to 30 minutes. And then she says that she tries to keep everything that she needs within reach of her so that she doesn't get sucked out into the real world. So true. And then you lose your group. And that's like one of my big ones is like, I'll go upstairs to eat and then I'll never come back. I'll be like, yeah, my back hurts too much. I don't feel, and it is reality, because of things physically that I go through that I do sometimes I need to let me go astray. And I think also that if I set up my calendar better, I can make those trade-offs of, okay, I can't, she has a snack in it. Well, we're talking, I got an offer while we're talking.
Oh, well, can I give a shout out here to, hey, Shelly, thank you. Shelly's sharing right now. My phone's blowing up.
Oh, is she watching us?
No, she's Shelly. Shelly is sharing all my listings on Poshmark.
Oh, awesome. Well, tell her to come in here.
Shelly, get in here.
Okay, so this
kind of hard when she's in there working, so
Yeah. And
let me just go to the group.
Yeah, she wanted to know how soon I can ship out this pair of Torrid jeans. So I probably wouldn't have taken this offer normally, but I haven't had a sale yet this weekend, so it's like, screw it. It's a pair of Torrid jeans, and I just took $20. Oh, shoot. I better not have. Please don't let. I think I changed that so it doesn't include shipping ahead, so because I'm going to be really mad at myself if it had shipping.
I am so mad at freaking Facebook.
To see, we're literally doing it right now. I went offline just to look at this one, just to accept an offer, and now, we're getting dragged into another thing. Oh, let me check. I need to make sure that I didn't have shipping on that to take for $20, that kind of stuff. So using the calendar to choose your social media, because that's the big thing, is we want it to be a tool. And Barbara says,
I'm going to send you all my jewelry.
selling a lot of jewelry. Well, I think that's what happens when you list 50 things. And she was kidding. So we want to be able to use social media as a tool because it is a marketing tool. All the different types of interactions that we want to have. We've talked about the fact that they all have different tones that you want to use in that. But you also want to be consistent, just like we need to be consistent for our listings and our, bringing in new things, relisting, all of that stuff. Consistency is so important on every platform. We're not even talking about sharing, because like Barbara doesn't share and she makes great sales. She also lists a lot. Listing is one of those things that also brings you up higher in the algorithm, and it's showing you're actually being engaged in the system. So I'm pretty sure they're not going to ding you for not sharing when you're pounding out 50 listings,
Yeah.
So those are the things to think about, is like, how is this plan that I'm making for social media going to fit in to my schedule so that I don't get caught up, so I don't go down the rabbit hole, so I don't go online to check an order. I got an offer. Okay, I'm going to check it. I literally, if we weren't in this conversation right now and I was downstairs working on something and I got that offer, I would probably still be on my phone right now. Because that's what happens, is we get sidetracked. So if we make that part of our daily plan of, okay, from this time to this time, I'm going here and doing some sourcing. Then I'm going to have a meal from this time to this time. And then I'm going to list from this time to this time. I'm going to take pictures from this time. You can still mix things up. You can still move some things around. A big thing for me is I always try and have at least a bunch of stuff that I can relist if I'm not physically able to do some of the other stuff, or if my son can't go and do his part on something that I need done for moving forward. So there's still a way to be flexible, but still maintain a listing. And one of the ways that I saw, I think it's Leslie from A Reseller's Passion. She actually does her calendar that morning. So here's the morning, and the top things that I need to do today are A, B, and C. If you're doing that part that morning, then for those of us that have disabilities and things that can interrupt what our grandest scheme was, can be more honest with ourselves about it. So like maybe for the week, make on your weekly planner part, put, these are the things I want to be done this week. Now, things that you need to get done. So now you can do a day by day, breaking it down. Okay, today's a good day to take pictures. So I get up in the morning, I'm going to take I'm going to take pictures from this time to this time. I'm going to have my break this time. I'm going to go on. I'm going to do my share and I'm going to do, my social media stuff from this time to this time. And Barbara says she will be listing another 50 this week. Jewelry, boots, winter accessories, dancewear, and men's. So she tries to plan like this because then I don't have to think what I need to list, because then I waste time. Yeah, that's definitely true. And that's part of building that plan. So Barbara's doing that. She's setting herself up for not failure, which some of us do when we fly by the seat of our pants.
Mm-hmm.
So as much as we need a plan for the things that are required for us to be a reseller, for us to have stuff in the stores for people to be buying, we also need to do that when we're looking at social media. How are we going to use the social media? Is it an asset, or is it taking away time from what you should be doing that actually creates income and creates wealth? For a lot of people, social media isn't going to be an income stream. It's just something that you do kind of to try and get to an audience or to have contact with the outside world. That's kind of for me, because I being homebound, having a chance to talk to people in the outside world that finally, after a year of COVID, understand what life is when you're stuck at home all the time. And you don't hear anymore. Must be nice to get to stay home all day.
I know. I've talked to people before who like, well, how did COVID affect you? I mean, it had to be really different. It's like, let's see, my husband's been working from home since 2011 because I was really sick. I didn't go off work until 2014, but he knew it was only a matter of time.
Yeah.
And I said, so we just don't make as many trips out to the grocery store. That's it, because we order everything now.
Yeah, I ordered too.
That was our only difference.
But the big difference for me is the fact that people are not saying things like, must be nice to get to stay home all day. People actually understand the stress that comes with that. And also, it even though I'm used to being home all the time, I did gain a lot of weight. And a part of that was because before I would go to the grocery store and get fresh fruits and vegetables week, and so I was eating a lot healthier. Well, now when I'm stuck where I'm having to use Shipt because I didn't really trust going to the grocery store at first, that kind of stuff really affected me, because now it's like, okay, I have to buy stuff that'll last longer and I'm paying someone to bring it. So now, and I don't, every single person that I've tried to get me fruits and vegetables on Shipt, it's been horrible. It's just, I can't get what I actually would be getting if I was going there. So it's kind of like a waste to me. And that's where I gained a lot of weight. So even when you're used to being home, there's some things that do change. But so I'm going to actually make that. Barbara says she's a homebody, so she's happy to be at home.
Oh, good for you, Barbara.
And I think a lot more companies that were originally going to have people coming back in are now
looking at
putting it off again, and a lot putting it till next year.
I just want to tell you something that they did here in Canada. This is kind of like a little off topic, but what you were saying about those of us who have been at home for quite some time, haven't been able to get to go out. In the past year or so, since COVID, not really from the beginning of COVID, but I think 3 months after, the government of Ontario, I don't know if the rest of the provinces do it or not, because I don't keep up with that. But they brought out all these places where you can call and you can talk and you can get this mental health help
Right.
in case you needed it. And it's like, well, where have you been through the last,
Right.
8 years that I've been off work? You weren't there to help me, and I've been stuck at
Well,
home.
I mean, I
You know what I
have
mean?
had
It
that.
needed that large numbers in order to happen.
Yeah. Well, and I'm a veteran, and veterans definitely, you know, we've needed a lot longer to have
I
those
know
kind
my
of things in place.
brother and my father and my uncle, and yeah, I know.
Yeah, because I mean, we had before COVID, we were looking at 22 veterans a day commit suicide. So and then when you go into a situation where the tools that are groups like at vet centers, they're separate from the VA, so a lot more people use it because they don't have their records aren't even able to be gotten by the VA. Everything's completely separate, so it doesn't affect anyone that like wants to be a police officer or things like that. But those vet centers are shut down, so now you don't have groups to go to. But getting back on what we're trying to talk about, so I'm definitely gonna say like this next week we're gonna finish week week one of digital skills social media on futurelearn.com for free. We're going to finish that up. So finish week one. And as part of that, I want everybody to think about, write down what social media you're choosing to work with. Start working on your plans for that. And also, let's give ourselves the challenge of this week, social media, put it on your calendar. This time to this time, every month, every day at noon, I'm going to make a post on Instagram, Facebook, and maybe Poshmark. I don't know. Like whatever social media you're deciding to work with, give it a time. I'm going to make a post this time every day, every other day, whatever it is. Give yourself within that time, like have that be a time when you also check your social media. So, like, say I'm giving myself an hour every day at lunchtime to go on, check my social media, make my postings for the day on these three. I want to be on these three platforms. So I'm going to make a thing on those three. When you're looking at things like TikTok and Reels and stuff like that require a little extra that people are going to do editing, get that on your calendar too. I'm going to film my TikToks for this week during this time. I'll edit during this time. Have it on your calendar so that that's as much time as you're giving it, because you have other things to work on. And I think that's something that we can see, especially like people that already have a strong social media following and a strong social media plan, is when they start looking at how much engagement might be taken away from things that they could be doing in themselves, or people like me that are not very, I mean, this is really the only thing where right now where I'm like, I'm going to do this on these days. But I think like if I say every single day I'm going to do a post at this time, I think I may see some changes there. So that's definitely a thing where you can gauge it, because now you've got a quantifiable. I haven't been specific and on a trend. Okay, do I get more followers? Do I get more people engaging with me if every single day I do something at the same time? So let's try and do that. Everybody pick a social media thing, or if you already have a social media plan, and you don't use the calendar, let's try and use the calendar. If you have a social media plan and you do have everything broken down on your calendar, maybe give us some, feedback on what did you do as far as like, how did you assess whether it was helping you in your business or just helping you with, if your main focus is to have social media be another income stream,
Yeah,
that's a different
I have a
animal.
friend who sells strictly on Instagram,
Yeah.
and
But
she
I
just
mean, like,
she sells locally.
as an income stream of being
Yeah.
an influencer. So, I mean, that's going to be two totally different lives too. And that's part of that. What is your marketing plan? What is your social media plan? If your social media plan is to use this as a way to work within the community and get to know each other and stuff, we're going to have totally different ideas and totally different results that we're measuring based on against someone who uses social media as another stream of income. They're putting out very regularly. That's something they're already doing, and that's based for that business. They may still be doing that business based on their side hustle of Poshmark or whatever, but they're looking at a totally different measuring scope than we would be. Like, I'm going to be looking at, are my sales increasing because I'm cutting down the time I'm spending online, because I'm spending more of that time on the things that I need to do for my resale business.
Right.
And, that's my main focus. Whereas if I wanted to make income on YouTube, I would be looking at, are my followers increasing by me having everything? So
You want to
really
monetize your YouTube account and everything, but yeah.
Yeah.
But I was just throwing out there about the social media and how my friend does it as well. There's ways to make extra income on the side, a little side hustle, just using social media strictly, because she sells vintage stuff. So she has it in one of those vintage community antique mall or whatever they are. But then she has stuff at home that she lists every day on Instagram. So she's doing double duty.
Yeah, and there's people now that something that's growing big now, and it's actually been added to Facebook Marketplace now, and that's live sales. At first, I was kind of like, this is something big. I didn't really get it. Leslie kills it. Leslie from Reseller's Passion. She does live sales on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think 1 or 2 days a week. She does that every single week. She's got, this is her time that she does it, and this is what she is. And she actually goes ahead and she makes a plan. Part of her plan is also what she's going to be selling that time. So when she's putting her information out there, she's actually saying, as she's doing her social media stuff, putting out like, I'm going to be, this week is going to be tie-dye, everything tie-dye. This week is going to be beachwear, So she's actually giving a focus for that sale, using her social media, putting that information out there. So now people know, okay, I know she has a sale once a week, but now I also know, okay, yeah, last week I really wasn't interested, so I didn't go. Oh, she's doing vintage this week. Oh yeah, I want to be there. So I'll go ahead and check it out. So if you know someone that you buy from regularly or that kind of thing, if they have a regular schedule, you're more likely to look and see what's coming up this week. Do I want to make sure that I'm going to watch that? So those are things to look at too. Like I said, Facebook Marketplace just added I I don't know if it was that long ago because I just saw it. So I don't know how old it is. But, you know, that's something.
I really don't go on Facebook Marketplace. So I know a couple months ago here in Canada, they started with the shipping that you could ship.
Yeah.
So I think that might be all part and parcel to what they're
that's
doing.
what's tying into more resellers are selling on Facebook Marketplace because it's now added in shipping. And then also, this is the other thing that you can do now. They're doing the live sales. So that's something to think about too when we're thinking about where do we want to be as we build a social media plan. What are, you know, not just social media platforms, but we also want to look at our selling platforms because we are social commerce. What we do is very social commerce, especially with Poshmark. So you want to tie those things together. So I'm going to get out of here because I actually want to I want to follow my girl over at Racks to Riches and be part of Sunday Night Sip because I need to sip something. And I think we've already gone 2 hours again tonight.
Oh, yes, I know.
Because we never shut up. So I'm excited. Everybody finish week 1 of digital skills, social media, and then also everybody use your calendar this week. Let's break out our times. Let's get off of social media when we're working and off of working when we're on social media. So let's see like if we can separate the two and if we can make social media more productive for us by limiting its jumping into when we're supposed to be doing work. So.
Okay.
Bye, everybody. Thank you, Barbara, for coming. Barbara, you're the only person that responded. So
you get a book.
I'm going to send you this book, Poshmark Unlocked.
Woohoo!
Unlocking the ability to make a 6-figure income on Poshmark. And anybody else that's interested when you're watching at home later, leave us a comment. Go and follow Shannon Jean, the author, who joined us in the first part of the chat. Go follow him. His website is shannonjean.com, and then all of his social media and everything is linked off of that. So see you guys next week. Awesome, Barbara. Thank you for coming in because you always do add so much great content to Terry and I as we ramble.
Yes.
You're good at keeping us on track. So
yes.
See you guys next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Bye.
Bye.